Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Valerie. I'm going to be sharing with you today my 2017 goals, which I left out of my last planner video when I went through the walkthrough of this planner for the year. I'll go ahead and link that video below for you. So first off, let's go to my goals section. Here are my 2017 goals. I thought about these. Some of these are carried over from last year and some of them are new. So let's get in a little bit closer so you can see what these goals are. Okay, so the newest goal that I decided I wanted to add was to learn about investing throughout the year. So I want to learn a little bit of like the very beginning baby steps of investing and stuff. Also, I wanted to increase my Spanish. Wanted to stay consistent with my workouts. I wanted to read books. This I was successful with last year, whether they're personal development books or just books for fun. Also this year I want to learn sign language fluently, and we're practicing that in homeschool. I have 2 Afghans that I want to finish, one for my husband and one for my mom, by certain dates. I want to improve my cursive and calligraphy, and I want to get back down to my normal weight so that I'm not overweight. I'm not excessively overweight, but I still can lose some pounds. Also, we want to have a baby. We've unfortunately recently experienced 2 miscarriages already, so we just found out yesterday that we are actually pregnant again. So praying for God to bless us and everything to go well with this baby and to not lose it. I also want to have a consistent YouTube uploading schedule, and we also are wanting to upgrade our Ford Explorer from 1 back row seat to 2, so that way we'll have a total of 3 rows, so our current 4 kids and us 2 can fit in there, and plus when the baby comes we will also have room for the additional little person in our life as well. I also want to read through the entire Bible this year and also make sure I'm writing down any verses that stand out to me daily as I read in my Bible journal. So those are my annual goals for the year. So since last year I was unsuccessful in accomplishing many of my goals, like 52 lessons of Spanish, working out at least 3 times a week, losing the 20 to 25 pounds, etc. I've decided to not just write my goals in the front of my planner like I did last year. I just kind of wrote them down, looked at them every now and then, but I didn't break them down into smaller steps. So this is what I'm going to do this year. I've decided to write down a little daily, weekly, monthly list. And we can see that here. So on a daily basis, I want to bring my email inbox down to 0. So I want to delete all the garbage, file the important ones into an email folder listed important, and the ones that are actionable, I want to do what I need to do with it each day at least. Then I also want to work off of my devotional list, my daily reading for my Bible. I have a private Facebook group where I post a morning devotional throughout the week, so I want to continue doing that consistently. And also writing in my Bible journal whenever a verse stands out to me. I've been doing that. I want to keep up with my monthly tracker and monthly gratitude list, which I have been doing so far. Then I also decided this year that I want to have chores broken down into monthly chores and weekly chores, and I want to work on each of those lists every day so that I can accomplish every week getting all of my weekly chores done and every month getting all of my monthly chores done throughout the month. And then daily also, I want to add my little weather symbol to my daily page. Now these aren't hard things to do, but they're easy to forget and easy to skip, especially when you're tired and you've had a long day or whatnot. So I just want to make sure that I remember this throughout the year. And if I forget for a while, I can come back and read it and then continue to do it again if I fall off track. So for my weekly, I want to check and assign my master tasks. That's my annual goals broken down into monthly, and then from that monthly breaking it down into the weekly. So I'll explain that a little bit more. Also, I want to go through my collections and projects to see if there's anything I need to update in there and assign for the following week to start working on. I want to assign my weekly chores and my monthly chores throughout the week's daily pages as well. Now for monthly, I want to review my annual goals. So at the end of every month, when I'm setting up my following month's monthly master task list, I will review the annual goals. Then I will create the master tasks for that month. I want to make sure I update that monthly index, which I'll show you in just a moment. And I want to add all of my weather numbers, like the high-low weather, throughout the month. I'll go back and look at this website. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll have it listed below where you can type in your zip code and look back for previous daily records of your high and low temperatures. Then I want to add events to my monthly calendar and make a new bookmark thing for my bookmark, and I'll show you all of that. So the first thing for the, let's see if it's in here. Nope, not that page. Okay, so for the monthly index, I have on the front page of my calendar, and either daily, weekly, or monthly, sometime I'll just go back and preview throughout that month's daily pages, and I will come here and put the date on the side and then any pertinent information that I may need to reference on those daily pages later. So that's the monthly index, so I can easily find important information on my daily pages at a later date. Then I will add any appointments or anything like that. So each of these colors represent something different, and that's in my setup planner video if you're interested in seeing that. Again, it'll be linked in the description box. So I'll add all of those things at the beginning of the month. And then let's see. Okay, so here's my monthly master task. This is where I take my annual task, my annual goals, and I break them down into smaller sections for the month. So for this month, my goal of learning 52 lessons of Spanish is broken down into learning 4 this month. And then when I'm doing my weekly planning, I'm focusing on 1. So I went from 52 to 4 to 1. I made it very manageable and very doable. It's not intimidating. 52 lessons of Spanish, of a language I don't speak. So just breaking it down into something that you can do for the month. For the year, I want to do 3 workouts a week for the entire year. That equates to, I don't know, 100 and over 100 plus workouts for the year. So I broke it down into my month. So that's 12. And now when I'm going to plan my week on Sunday, I'll just assign 3. And it just continues to break it down. The same thing with all of my other goals and monthly tasks. Like the bottom one here is not a monthly goal, but it's something I have to get done. So I had the reminder on my calendar, then I wrote it on my monthly task, and then I wrote it a couple times throughout the month on a daily page. Remember, this is due this date. Remember, it's going to cost this much. Talk to your husband about this. It's due next week. Cancel or renew, exclamation point. You know what I mean? So it's a couple of different reminders, so that way when the date finally comes up, I can't say, oh man, I totally forgot about this. I've been reminding myself throughout the month. So there's no excuse to not have gotten it done early or to not get it done on time. My monthly task is the list of my monthly chores that I want to get done each month. And here you can see I have January, J through D, January through December. And the numbers here represent what day of the month for that month I did it. So now next month when I need to clean out my coffee pot with some vinegar, run vinegar through my coffee pot, I know I'll need to do it in around the first week because I did it in the first week of January. So that way it's actually a month apart. And I signed this weekly, like on Sundays when I'm going to do my weekly planning, I'll take a couple of them and assign them to the daily. So let's take a look at that here. Here I have January 2nd and 3rd, which was Monday and Tuesday of this week. And I have dust, TV and pictures, cobwebs, and air vents. Those are 3 monthly tasks that I have assigned on one day because they're all similar and easy to do, and it's better to pull out the vacuum one time instead of 3 days in a row to do those very similar tasks. I also have my weekly chores like bathing the dogs, washing our linens, watering the plants, and as I assign those throughout the week, I check them off. And then also the monthly tasks, as those get done throughout the month, I write in the number of the day, the date that I did it. So that is how I'm planning on accomplishing my larger annual goals, by breaking them down into monthly and then daily assignments. And when things don't get done, for example, here I had edit and upload YouTube video about my nails. I had a nail break and I fixed it or whatever, so I'll have that video linked below if you're interested in that. But it didn't get done that day, so I put an arrow and I reassigned it. Let me check here if we have any info that I don't want shared. These two are okay. So look, I did it again here. I assigned it for the following day, but it was just such a busy day, I didn't get it done. I wasn't able to get to it. But my goal was to get at least one video uploaded this week. So the same video didn't get uploaded for 2 days. Now here, finally, yesterday, I was able to get it done. I made sure I did it first in the morning, so that way there was no reason to wait till late at night to spend 2 hours editing or an hour editing or whatever and say, oh, I'm too tired. So I did go ahead and get that done, and I got my goal for the week to get one YouTube video up. So now that goal is met, and I'm closer to having my annual YouTube upload goal accomplished as well. So that's how I move them forward. Each week what I'll do is, each month when I'm writing down my monthly task list from my annual goals, I will also make a new card here in the middle of my daily bookmark. And I will just write out that month's following to devotional list of what I'm going to read each day from the Bible. And then the middle section will be the grocery list for the month, and as we run out of something, I'll add it. And then on the back side is where I keep my weekly chore list, so I will rewrite this list, write the weeks up here, and then check them off each week. So this card only has to be remade once a month, and I could make it something like laminated and just check it off or whatever, but I honestly kind of enjoy rewriting lists. I'm just kind of like a weirdo, and I like to write and rewrite lists and notes and whatever. So that's another thing that I do on my monthly setup for the month. Also during the month, or at the end of the month, I will each week, at the end of the week, I'll look through my projects section and then my collections section, and I have an index here. And I'll just look through all those pages to see if there's any actions that I need to take on any of those projects, or fill in any of the charts in my collections section, like my weight loss tracker, or I might even add a pregnancy tracker if I'm gaining weight, when I'm gaining weight, or what I'm feeling or whatever. So I'll update that as well. And I'll do that weekly because I typically add notes on my daily pages. Like here, you see this is the day I found out we were pregnant. This is the day the oil got changed in the SUV. So if any of these like notes or tidbits are relevant, I'll put them either in the index, in the gratitude and memories log, or in the collections charts if necessary, just to keep everything updated. It might seem like a lot of work to have these reminders in different areas of the planner, but I honestly kind of like that. So that way if I'm looking through my collections and I notice, oh yeah, I remember I did my Spanish lesson this week, I need to check that off. And then also check that off on my monthly master task so that I know I'm getting closer to my annual goal. Or if I'm looking at my monthly master task and I say, oh yeah, I remember I learned 2 lessons this week. Let me go to my overall Spanish lesson, which I'll show you is for the entire year. See, and I can just write off what lesson, color in what lesson I've mastered, and I know where I am, and I can see the progress being made every week or every month as I review all of my collections and projects and my previous pages, daily pages for either the week or the month. So that is it for this video. I hope this was helpful to you in some way. I want to encourage you, if you've fallen off the bandwagon of getting your goals accomplished and bettering yourself, don't feel discouraged. Just pick up where you are right now and do small actions each day that lead you toward a better you and toward the life that you want by the end of the year. And even though it may seem insignificant today to do these tiny little actions, over the year they add up and eventually they equal an accomplishment, and you're somewhere better in your life or better in as a person just because you've done easy daily actionable things to become a better you by the end of the year. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Be sure to check out the description box for any pertinent information regarding this video or other videos mentioned. Bye.